The show has begun with Connor and Dom. It's the Decon Chamber.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Trekkies and Trekkers, welcome back to another watch party episode of the Decon Chamber. I am your co-host Connor Trinneer alongside my bestie and sometimes co-defendant, co-host, and other things we won't talk about, Dominic Keating.
Hey.
Today, we're going to watch Fallen Hero, episode number 23. Story by Rick and Brannon and Chris
Black.
Yeah. And written by Alan Cross. Also directed by Patrick Norris, who Dom had approached to join us, but had a family issue and unfortunately couldn't.
Yeah. But another, I'm not sure. I'll have to look and see if he directed another one.
Yeah, I don't know.
But if he has, he'd happily come back. He did say in his email that he would love to rejoin. So it suggests to me that he thinks he did. So we'll look ahead.
Excellent. I was very excited about this guest star, Fionnula Flanagan.
Yes.
I'd seen her in The Others, and
yes.
I don't remember if I'd seen Waking Ned Divine before that, but she was the first real guest star that we had that I can think of outside of, Star Trek alums coming in. I thought, wow, this will be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, good actress, seasoned, and Tony nommed for that wonderful play, The Ferryman, that was on Broadway by Jez Butterworth that got a lot of attention. She had a big part on Lost, which I did not watch, but I did, understand that she was.
I got lost about episode 2 and was like, I can't get back to the show.
Yeah. I mean, not to bang on Lost, but I did happen to, so the noise that was off screen the whole time.
Yeah.
What is it? Do you remember the episode? The poor black actor that was on a beach, and he had to, and the scary noise that was going, the scepter, what do you call it, specter, turned out to be some sort of really fucking $20 CGI waft of black smoke. I don't know if I happened to catch that episode.
I did not.
And saw this poor actor react to, obviously, a tennis ball on a C stand. Yeah, there are some times on telly, particularly, and film, when it's just derisory. I mean, you can't help but just laugh and go, really?
Yeah.
You thought you could get away with that?
Right. And the reality is that, you're being told one thing while you're shooting it, that it's potentially some huge force, and you're like, really?
Honestly, it was about, I don't know. Anyway, let's not bang on.
Yeah.
Lost is gone. So it starts with the teaser, which is rather interesting. You having supper with the captain and T'Pol, and very quickly we get into the discussion that she thinks that the whole crew needs to get laid.
Yeah.
What makes you think we're suffering from a lack of sexual activity?
Before the breadsticks have even been put down.
And we're all kind of like, what?
As she detects a certain tension.
Efficiency's down 3%.
And the chief culprit, Malcolm's not even there.
Right.
For crying out loud. If you're going to have that discussion, get the most tense man on the ship down at the table.
I took the liberty of locating a suitable planet. It's called Risa.
So she suggests that, there's this planet Risa, which is some, in close proximity, and that we all go to Risa and take a break. And, she's obviously done the Travelocity look up on Risa, and there's all sorts of, shenanigans going on there. We get interested by the fact that they've got masseuses with 12 fingers.
Yeah, over and over again. Yeah, here's the thing, too. This is the first episode that we have that it feels as though, because I think Desert Crossing also addresses this before we get to 2 days and 2 nights, that we're talking about Risa.
Yes. Yeah, agreed. And that's an interesting, also an addendum is that these two episodes, Fallen Hero and Desert Crossing, went out as a double banger.
Yeah, I didn't know
Uh,
that.
I'd forgotten that. I looked, it was on Memory Alpha or something, or one of those trivia sites where
Right.
you can look up stuff like this. Um, so yes, so very quickly, we're set for we're set to go to Risa. Do you show up in the Hawaiian shirt right away?
You've got to be seen to get noticed.
I do, and
You
I
do, don't you?
I even wrote myself a note. Should have kept that shirt.
Ah, yeah, that would have been a good one to keep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But suddenly all our plans for the good rise and massage are interrupted when we get hailed by a Mazarite. Well, we don't know who it is to start with, but we get
Right.
hailed. And the Mazarite captain, who was played by I wrote his name down, John Rubinstein, a very nice sort of level performance. I thought that was rather
Yeah.
nice.
Some sort of be involved in what he's doing.
Story is that the Vulcan ambassador to Mazar, or I think we're pronouncing it right,
Mazar?
Mazar, um, Ambassador Valar, played by Fionnula Flanagan, um, she has been
Huge.
exculpated. I mean, excommunicated from the planet for crimes and misdemeanors. What is the actual
It was abuse
abuse of position?
And criminal misconduct.
And that she's to be picked up by us and taken back to Vulcan.
You'll rendezvous with the Vulcan ship Charan in 3 days.
Yeah.
Prior to then,
Well, the Vulcan ship's going to meet us.
the Vulcan's ship Charan's going to meet us and
Yeah.
take her back. Prior to her then having to return and face these charges.
Right.
So we're right. Okay, and Archer, I think he asks what these charges, what they, what the crimes are, and can get no straight answer other than we're just to, again, the Vulcans are keeping us in the dark.
The Vulcans aren't talking.
Imagine that.
Well, it also comes back to a point of they did this less later on in our show, but continually hammering, Vulcan protocol and the not talking and the not sharing. And we learned something about our warp speed.
Yes, that's I mean, obviously comes up. Yeah, I mean, Voyager was banging around. God knows, you'd think they would have got home a bit quicker at warp point 9. I'm never going to let that go.
Right. But she's clearly different. She, when we first meet her, she's clearly different from what we expect.
Yes, I mean,
about Vulcans.
T'Pol has warned us all that no handshakes, no jokes, no don't speak to her unless you're spoken to.
Don't offer to shake hands.
Those guidelines are largely precautionary.
Right.
Hoshi has prepared to give up her cabin to accommodate her, and I mean the cabin is there's not a speck of dust, but there's one sort of inconsequential piece of the photographic
like
artwork.
a grandmother or something.
Yeah, not even. I mean, and T'Pol says, "Are you going to leave that?"
Right.
Ambassador Valar is accustomed to a Spartan environment.
Ambassador Valar likes a Spartan environment.
Just hope it's Spartan enough, sir.
And so Hoshi takes that with her.
And it's funny too because is it the previous episode where T'Pol helps Hoshi figure out the language that they seem to have had some sort of connection, but
yes,
just that falls through the cracks here.
But I hold you to a high standard, Ensign, because I know you're capable of achieving it.
One of the things that happens in this scene that we meet together when
she comes aboard. Yes,
we have dinner. And
well, first of all, we're skipping a little bit. She when she first arrives, from the transporter, the Mazarite shuttle pod, if you will, that docks with us, and as soon as she comes aboard, her hand is out.
Thank you.
yeah,
Rather
right.
sort of, not once but twice and maybe 3 times.
Pleased to meet you.
The pleasure is mine, Commander.
And she makes a joke about when you're having dinner. Yeah, I mean that's when you.
How old are you?
How long have you been a diplomat?
I understood that on your world it is considered bad manners to ask a lady her age. My attempt at humor.
Yeah, yeah. Trip puts his foot right in it.
Yeah, yeah. But the other thing too is that it's the first time we question how old is T'Pol?
Yes.
You're almost certainly dining with the two oldest people on this ship.
Well, I did the math on this. The law alludes to her and T'Pol being the two oldest on the ship. Canonically, the law has ends up being 94 years old, and the math works out that T'Pol is 64.
Oh,
which is my age. So,
wow.
I know she looks pretty good for 64.
She does look pretty good for 64.
Yeah.
So we have I will say this, within that was the first scene that I shot with Fionnula.
Right.
And I was very excited to work with her. And very kind, you know, an actor's actor. But she came in and did something that I could never do, which is she didn't know her lines. I mean, she was familiar with them, but she knew her own process, and she was like, you know, reading off the page. And I don't know if somebody said something or she sensed something, and she was like, oh, no, I'll learn this when you light it. And sure as hell, she did.
She didn't have small amounts to say either.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But she walked in holding script and reading from the page, and I think that it was clear that, you know, she has that rarefied ability to look at something, take in direction, see what's going on, and then learn it.
Yeah, and you know, given we've you know this comes up a lot when we discuss our show, is that they wanted it dead letter perfect. There was no room for nearly got it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not that actor. I like to show up to set pretty much off book.
Yeah.
I like to dance, you know, knowing the steps. You know, I've likened this once or twice to learning the tango or something, you know. What's the other one that's the tango is particularly, you know, worthy. They glide like it's effortless, but the amount of rehearsal that's gone in to have those steps look so effortless.
Well, swing dancing is the same thing. It looks so free and easy, but man, you exactly. But the thing about it is that when you know your points, you can have the freedom to dance.
You can, yeah, you can, and it's I just don't like the feeling as an actor, half knowing it. You can't. You know, I don't know how to say. I mean, I'm not. I'm a nuanced actor, but every nuance is considered.
Yeah, it makes. I don't. Here's the thing. It's such an artificial environment that you already, especially as a guest actor, have enough nerves that you don't know anybody. You don't know the tone of what the director wants, and if I would ever come into a situation where I was like, yeah, I kind of know it, I would lose confidence.
Yeah,
I could possibly do.
Yeah, I mean, she is Fionnula Flanagan, so maybe
Right,
she comes.
exactly.
She and you know, she came dressed like, you know, in regality, and
Right.
you know, and look, she's just got chops and
And the eyes.
yeah, and the eyes, yeah, no
In
kidding.
particular, I was watching this episode, and I remember thinking, you know, film and television acting is so different than it is on stage, and she in particular recognized this, you know, as a old hat at it, as it were, that it all just lived right here. It all just lives right there, and it sort of flows out off of
Yeah,
that.
the rest of it was just you know, still, and
Yeah.
that's a great lesson for any actor. Is stillness is so powerful. Be still, especially
Right.
on stage. unless the character is Jimmy Dean, and
Or a clown.
or a clown. But Stillness is a very powerful, tool to just
Secret
be.
sauce. It's a secret sauce in life too, I believe. So we get to Act 2, and we're attacked by the Mazarites.
Porthole plating's offline.
And they want her back, and Captain Archer does some nice delaying tactics, so that he can sort of get a handle on what's going down here.
And fantastic visual effects in that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Good.
Yeah, really. Yeah, very good. We can't fire the phase cannons at warp, much to Malcolm's chagrin.
What do you mean we can't fire them at warp? Particle discharge, sir.
We have to slow down to impulse in order to.
I wrote a note about this.
Yeah.
Risa seems gleeful about firing.
Their shields are failing. They're dead in the water, sir.
Yeah. I made up my mind early on that whenever Malcolm got to fire anything or blow anything up, it was like, one in the arm.
Right.
We were talking earlier today about some new merchandise for the show, and some new T-shirts are coming out. One that we didn't discuss was that I wanted one with Malcolm going, "Oh, please let me blow it up, sir."
We'll put
Anyway.
it in the catalog.
We'll put that in the basket.
But Valar is still keeping us in the dark about all of this.
She's very vague, isn't she?
about
Yes, about what it is that she might or might not have done, and why the Mazarites are so intent on taking her back.
There are diplomatic matters at stake here which do not concern you.
Paul and Valar have a nice scene. I think this is right when they're walking toward her quarters, or is that earlier, where they're talking about trust issues and withholding information.
We've kept many things from them, all for good reason.
But situations like this only reinforce the resentment.
To Paul has already mentioned, I mean, this is the old adage about be careful about meeting your heroes.
Yeah.
To Paul confides with Captain Archer that she had gone to see Ambassador Valar speak.
Thinking that Valar would not remember that.
It was many years ago on Vulcan, during my early schooling, and I traveled a great distance to see her.
The Treaty of Katann. That's right. She went to see her speak about the Treaty of Katann, and she was upset by what the ambassador had said at that conference, and she actually went up and sort of confronted her as a young girl. As a young girl, she's probably 44.
Vulcan.
Yes, and as you say, Valar, of course, remembered well this young ingenue coming to school her about what she'd said.
Your questions about my negotiating tactics were quite presumptuous coming from one so young.
And she took it to heart and actually went back and redressed her feelings and thoughts, and eventually her policy about what she'd said at that conference.
In fact, your bluntness made me reconsider some of my positions, much as it has now.
Well, there's also a conversation about like warp tech versus earned trust.
Yeah.
And that comes to play in Act 3 when we are reaching our limit because we're a warp 5 ship.
Yes. So the policy. Well, I mean the what's the word I'm looking for?
The ability for Federation.
Well, our plan now is to try and outrun this Mazarite ship, which is a bit more powerful than ours, perhaps, certainly with its firepower. But they have not gotten warp 5. Well, they're on the brink of it. Our ship on paper will do warp 5.
It's called a warp 5 engine.
On paper?
But we've only ever gone to 4.
I don't believe they've exceeded warp 5.
Yeah, there's that lovely sequence where we're ramping her up to 4.7.
4.97.
4.8.
4.9.
4.9.
4.99.
Warp 5.
And I love, honestly, when it cuts down to engineering, and you start to see smoke coming out of the
Fire
grill,
burning out of one of the
coming out of the grills. It's like
Yeah.
a sort of an old 70s Mustang.
Totally.
It's rather amusing. There's a lovely shot there, actually. When we're going through engineering, Patrick Norris shot us from underneath. We were on top on the metal balcony,
Yeah.
which looked absolutely great. I really noted that. That was, and then he did some coverage, I think, with us face to face. But the conversation that was on the move was really nicely shot.
Well done.
Yeah.
And I would say that he did a very good job at shooting this episode, and you've got several scenes which are sort of standard walking and talking or being, but when there was movement and action, I thought that he moved the camera very well, which to me is a secret of a good filmmaker.
I was just looking, just to go back to a bit of trivia. When Paul has that conversation with Captain Archer about the Katann Treaty and seeing Valar all those years before, there's this lovely picture on the wall of his ready room, which I thought was the Spruce Goose, Howard Hughes's huge plane.
Still, I believe, the largest built plane.
That is still. I mean, I've seen it up. I've actually seen it. Have you? It's amazing, isn't it? And it's made of wood. It's quite remarkable.
And it got about that high off the water.
Yeah, it did fly. But anyway, it wasn't the Spruce Goose. It turns out it was actually the California Clipper. And the picture is of it flying over the Golden Gate Bridge in 1935.
Wow.
And I thought that was worthy of note.
They're all the precursor to the B-52.
Yes. Good scene between Paul and Archer. That I seem to remember. I made a note of that.
I can't accept that she'd sacrifice a lifetime of accomplishments with an act of criminal misconduct.
I tell you, I mean, I don't know. People give Scott a bit of sticks, really, but I think I loved his performance as Jonathan Archer. I thought it was measured and
it was
accessible,
he was an absolute leader.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, and willing to listen when it was worth listening to, and then quite adamantly, no, I'm the captain, and this is what we're doing.
Right.
And if you know one thing about humans, we don't always act logically, and so take your logic.
Yeah.
And stick it where the Vulcan sun,
in particular,
stick it where the Vulcan sun don't shine.
Right.
There's a lot in there in this episode about the disgruntlement between us and our relationship with the Vulcans, and them, purposely keeping us in the dark. There's a nice, line there.
Well, it's this sort of sense of colonialism in a way that, like, you're not ready.
You're not ready. And as she said, I mean, is it Valar that says, why would we trust you? You've just come out of a massive global war.
Yeah.
And we're just going to readily introduce you to the interstellar community?
You had just emerged from a global war.
We're going to give you the bomb.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah, no.
Right.
Yeah. So you weren't ready.
Well, we're still going. We're trying to reach warp 5, where we get to warp 5, and the ship is
about to blow.
It's rumbling like a jalopy, going as fast as it can.
Yeah.
The port injectors just blew. We've got to slow down, Captain.
Valar wants to surrender. Archer refuses on account of the ship. Which is putting us all at risk. And that's when I think he says, you don't know humans well enough to know that we don't always act logically.
We don't always take the most logical course of action.
Right.
But we act with, morality and loyalty. And then it turns out that she is...
she's gathering evidence against the Mazarite.
Mazarites pursuing us are criminals. Their methods include eliminating anyone who stands in their way.
she's purging the Mazarite government. Again, purging the Mazarite government of absolute corruption, and isn't that? I mean, again, these last few episodes have been so timely in the time we are living in.
I'm telling you, if you want to watch a show that was made obviously 25 years ago,
Yeah.
that echoes exactly what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Watch this. Season 1 does this episode
Does this
after
over and over.
episode after episode.
Yeah. It's quite extraordinary. And, I mean, and sad in a way. I mean, we are living.
Yeah.
I know I'm not going to get too into the weeds of the politics, but we're living in some fucking fairly strange times, man.
We're living in a time that reminds us that history repeats itself.
Yeah, aren't we? No kidding. And then this sort of ticking clock, the old dramatic ticking clock is introduced about, can the Vulcan ship, the Charan, get to us in time as we beetle towards it at 4.95, possibly going to blow ourselves up. And can they get to us before the Mazarites get to us and blow us up?
If we could maintain warp 5, we'd reach them in 12 minutes.
Well, we have to slow down.
And we have to slow down. Exactly. And I like that. I've always liked the ticking clock in any kind of dramatic story.
Agreed.
It's a good ploy. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen High Noon?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
It's the first movie to take place in real time.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And
it's
that's
actually, I don't know why I was reading about this the other day. It's historically, of course, it's not accurate at all.
No.
No, it's But
the movie works at the same time as time itself, which is fascinating.
Yes.
And as you said, you're working against the ticking clock.
Yeah. So we get to Act 4, and Valar wants to send a message to Charan to tell them to help.
There's a diplomatic frequency we sometimes use. It's in a lower subspace band.
This is a rather amusing bit. That diplomatic channel that the Mazarites keep blocking. Apparently, there's some subspace.
By the way, I've got another phone.
There's some subspace communication frequency that we can level.
It's been a few years since I did this.
What's the password?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you know? I mean, I'd be screwed. I mean, damn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah. 8, 6, 7, 5, 301.
Engineer is literally blowing up. They're catching us. We need 10 minutes. We've talked about the ticking clock. And then this is when we send her down to Sickbay to sort of secrete her with Dr. Phlox.
We just need to buy 10 more minutes.
Captain.
I want you to go to Sickbay.
Sickbay?
I'll explain later. If there was ever a time to start trusting us, this would be it.
He's removing her from the chair. And so then the Mazarites, they arrive, they board us. And where is the ambassador? She's not well. She's in Sickbay.
She was no more than 10 meters away when the conduit blew.
Her injuries are extensive.
I didn't recognize that Phlox's character quite had the moral and ethical acuity to do what he did. He does it also.
He does it a lot.
He does it a lot, and he says, "This is basically my ship, and I'm the captain in Sickbay."
I don't know what business you have with this woman, but when she was brought in here, she became my patient. If I remove her from the imaging chamber prematurely, she'll die.
I think that's very interesting. That in Sickbay he operates.
Yeah, it's his domain. It's his
domain.
Yeah, his fiefdom.
Yeah,
and my word is final. And Malcolm's fallen foul of that, and now the Mazarites do, which is it's rather nice. And but then they're having none of it, and they think that she's in the, I don't know what it is, the MRI machine. Yeah, that they put me in there once. It's I've done a few MRIs, but yeah,
CT scan.
That was a tight little.
Listen, you could not be wary of close spaces on this show.
No, no, you couldn't. No. And we've talked about Shuttlepod 1, the amount of times we must have banged our head on those bloody metal rafters. I mean, it literally was, yeah. So they shoot it up, the MRI machine, thinking that the ambassador is inside there.
Because her scan is up on the screen.
Yeah, her scan's up on the screen, and then they're well duped by the illusionist, Dr. Phlox.
No!
Yeah, pick a card. Pick a card.
Wonders that boggle the mind.
I love it. He does Friday nights at the Magic Castle. I don't know. Yeah.
The close tables. The close tables.
I've got 5 wives, 4 wives, 3 wives. Where did the wife go?
Exactly. She's right here.
Yeah. Take my wife. Take her. Where are we?
Well, then they shoot the scan place up.
Yes.
And then
They think they're all done. They're all smirky.
We did what we came to do. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And then they turn around, door opens, and there's Valar.
I am sorry to disappoint you.
And there's Valar. Yeah, surprise. And then the Vulcans show up. Of course, it's a big battle cruiser, man. This is, this is the big. I'm just reading that book about Churchill's Ungentlemanly War. There was a huge battle cruiser called the Tripits that Hitler had built, and it was stationed at Saint-Nazaire in France. And the way we put her out of service wasn't by blowing her up, because that was an impossibility. It was just too big. We absolutely, with a guerrilla warfare subterfuge, we absolutely massacred the holding gates that kept the water in, that kept her afloat.
Oh,
and so she just became, a standing, mausoleum. And it's quite a good book. I recommend. Anyway, yeah. So the Solar, the Sharan shows up and just blows them out of the water.
The other thing too is, like, when you see visually Enterprise, which is, I don't know, an eighth of the size of this ship, that the Federation would have been like, hang on a minute, what are you guys doing? And if we're supposed to be teammates, why aren't you helping? And this is kind of what this episode's about.
Yeah, it is. And the tension being that, they won't let us know what she's guilty of, or why, and there's always those communications between Archer and Vaughn Armstrong as Admiral Forrest. Jonathan, I'll have to get back to you. I need to talk.
Well, John, I'm not really sure what we can do here, but we're going to try our best. And
I'm gonna have to talk to Saval.
I'll talk to Saval, see what I can find out.
And that always is
I find those amusing. Every scene that Archer has with Vaughn's character is always kind of like Archer saying, hey, listen, we've got a problem. Admiral Forrest going like, well, listen, John, we've got some diplomatic issues going on right now, and we're not entirely, you're on your own.
Yeah. And you are a long way from home.
Yeah.
So yeah, what did I write here? Valar, the door opens and Valar's there standing in front of the Mazarite. Surprise, bitches.
Yeah, right.
So then we get to Act 5, and Valar says that the bond between the Vulcans and the humans bodes well.
I think it bodes well for the future relations of our two peoples.
Well, it's growing. It's growing.
Yeah.
I always find myself a little, how do I put this? Annoyed that it took so long for I don't know, us being out of the gate first and addressing in a fashion that could be useful to both groups, that, hey, we don't trust you. them saying, well, we don't care.
No.
They repeat this theme a lot. It goes away eventually. And not only that, it also in our own show with addressing to Paul, this happens over and over and over again.
Yeah, because her loyalty's constantly being challenged, isn't it?
Right. Yeah.
And whenever she meets any other Vulcans that come aboard, they always bring up the fact that she's been living amongst humans
Right.
For several months now, and how on earth are you coping? Not
Right.
least with the smell,
Right.
and their food, and it's
Well, that's a good point, Dom, because in that first exchange when T'Pol is telling her she's staying in Hoshi's quarters, and
yeah.
and she was like, I know, it's the smell.
I am curious, though, who previously occupied the cabin?
The human scent is difficult to mask.
And
Yes.
I was like, no, I just wondered why there was nothing in the room.
There's a nice when when Hoshi's finally left the room and taken the said picture. That's the only thing in there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but Jolene did a sort of.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't sure whether that was a button on the scene or until it get reprised later on in the episode.
Well, it makes me think that.
And if anyone smelt the best, it was Hoshi. Let's face it.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
She looked pretty clean.
She did. She did. But it's also, there's something about, that Valar represents in this episode some sort of, I don't know, evolutionary hybrid, maybe based on her age and experience, but someone who does not have this purification sense that Vulcans do.
Well, bear in mind that if travel is the best education to erase any kind of prejudices and whatever, she's been an ambassador on a foreign planet for several years,
right?
And that's worthy of note that she's coming at it not with the sort of the Council of Vulcan mindset.
I was thinking about this when I was watching it, that in the original series, did the Vulcans represent, say, the Soviets?
Right. Yeah, probably. Or maybe the Klingons. Maybe the Klingons were the baddies.
Well, the Klingons didn't seem to have the intelligent level of being secretive.
Well, you're going to get in trouble for that.
I know. Claw. But no, I was thinking about this, that for I don't know, 5 series within this franchise, that the sort of Cold War notion of this delicate balance between allies, we still lived with. And, I wonder if, again, does history repeat itself, or how valid was that? Or, I just found myself thinking like, oh, I get this, that we're trying to deal with a tentative ally sometimes. Really, ultimately what it comes down to is that the episode winds up being about that the Vulcan human relationship is in a nascent space of growing.
Yeah, but this episode, this incident, obviously, is a bridge and a step towards bringing it closer. I mean, I think the last line is between the bond between Archer and T'Pol is beautiful at the end. Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.
Valar also says, because she senses things, she senses that T'Pol and Archer are
good friends. Yeah.
I sense a great bond between you. Bond of friendship.
Yeah, and we haven't heard, and we haven't even been given any of that kind of information about how T'Pol sits in the hierarchy of personal relationships. She's still figuring this out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's some nice stuff. I'm just looking down all my other notes. Is there any other sort of trivia that I noticed? Bilar's observation about the great bond between Archer and T'Pol. Yes. Chris Black noted this. That there are 2 allusions to the original series, and you've just noted one, that Valar's observation about the great bond between Archer and T'Pol harkens back to that between Kirk and Spock.
Interesting.
And that's sort of worthy of note. And that, God bless your character, Trip, down in engineering, worrying about pushing the engines, Captain. Harkens back to the great man himself, Scotty.
Scotty, I can't change the laws of physics. I've got to have 30 minutes.
I'll tell you something, man. I have historically, when I've thought about these episodes, having not seen them, and hearing people talk about, it takes every series in the franchise, I don't know, X amount of years to find their sea legs. I don't know.
I don't know either.
We were right there.
We were right there, like damn quick.
Yeah.
Lickety split.
Yeah, I
agree. Our pilot, I've said it before, is a bloody good pilot, and I've seen the other ones.
And I feel like we didn't have. We'll see what season 2 looks like, but I don't recall. We're now we're episode 23. We've only got
3 more to go. Yeah.
And
Shockwave 1 and 2 separate the season 1 and 2.
I'm not finding, quite honestly, any clunkers in sort of like
No, I'm not. I mean, no, I'm not. And yeah.
I find myself watching these and being like awfully proud.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, you should be. Your performance in it is wonderful, mate, and you had a lot to do.
And I think that we as a group,
we melded very quickly, and I know not everyone got to do as much as they might have hoped they would like to have done on the show. But you know what? I mean, I'm watching the episodes, and everyone gets a moment. I mean, you're on screen and you're doing something. It's not like it's not like you're an extra. No one's an extra.
No, and wait until 2 days and 2 nights, which we're going to talk about later, and Michael Dorn directing, and there are such complete storylines.
Yes,
4 or 5 that happen that are complete and that are wonderfly done.
Yeah, and who would have thought that Hoshi was the only one to get a leg over?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not a bad looking bloke either.
Right, except for the whole, forehead thing.
Yeah, well, you don't look at the
Indeed.
One other trivia note: Fionnula Flanagan was also in DS9, which had the other pretty good pilot, I will say.
Yeah.
And she was in an episode, the Dax episode. And she was in a Next Generation episode called Inheritance,
right?
Which I'd have to go back and look and see what they were about. But so she was. This was her 3rd time coming aboard, as it were.
And I want to just say again to everyone, for me, Fionnula Flanagan was. I was so impressed to meet her.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit like.
I bet. I mean, if you couldn't get Judi Dench,
you're right.
Yeah, no. I mean, come on. I mean, this isn't to discount Judi Dench. This is like, Judi Dench. I have an old saying, like, when an actor's, you could do it better. Do you know Judi Dench? I wonder if you could do it a little like Judi Dench.
Try a sonnet for me, please.
Yeah, really. Oh, have you ever seen that clip of her on?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, Norton show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's astounding, and
Graham, he just says, "Can you do some Shakespeare?" And she does sonnet I don't know, 14 or something.
Yeah, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah, class act. And she's, you know, real actor's actor. She corpses all the time. She's, you know, apparently hilarious to work with.
And body as you can get.
And bawdy as you can get. And then when it's to an action, it's just dialed in.
Yeah.
And yeah. Well, we got Fionnula Flanagan. So, and I didn't get really to meet her, which was, you know, I mean, I think I shook hands with her and welcomed her to set.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you didn't really
That was
have
about it. No, I don't have much to do with her at all, and yeah, too busy with the aft cannon, sir.
That's right.
They can only be shot at warp. Yeah. Well, another good episode, and yeah, good chatting with you about it, mate.
Likewise.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed this, guys.
We appreciate your eyeballs and we appreciate your support that we see at conventions and anywhere that we go. And we appreciate your words. They matter a great deal. We do think that we're doing something important. And I think that we are galvanized by the words that we get from you all. And to your point, Dom, I think that, you know, if you can, you know, find it in your hearts to
well, I don't know what to say. I can't tell you the delight when someone comes up to my table at a convention and says, I've just joined Patreon. It's not a lot of money. It just makes all their words that much more meaningful. You know, I mean, I know for a long time, I listened to NPR for a long time, and I didn't join up as a member. And whenever they had the drive, you know, it played in my head, and I'd actually switch over to the other station, KPCC.
See if they weren't doing it.
So I couldn't have to, because I didn't have to listen but I felt guilty. And I knew in my heart I was not really, you know, doing the right thing. And I've long since been a member of KCRW, and because it's part of my life, and I would be lost on a daily basis without that station in my life.
And if you're a fan of our show, this accompaniment that we're doing to our show, I think, and I really believe this, is that we're doing something important.
Yeah, it is for posterity.
And me talking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So thank you. There endeth the lesson, and we will see you next time. Nanu, nanu.